everybody, and the dawning is officially here. My update is still downloading because it's taking freaking forever. But while the update is downloading, I thought I would go over some of the quality of life improvements coming to Destiny with this patch, because of course we have the obvious things which we're gonna go through later in another video, the armor and the sparrow racing, all that stuff. But for this video, there's actually a ton of quality of life improvements that I really want to let you guys know have happened because I think it's important. Now, before we go into it, I will say that there is no weapon balance patch, so if you are expecting a weapon balance patch, it's not there. But there are a ton of quality of life improvements, so let's talk about that. Now, speaking about collections, first of all, we have the Circuit and Momentum SRL racing gear you can now repurchase. So if you already earned these items from last SRL, you can get these items again, and they can also be infused up to max light. So if you want to be a sparkly Christmas tree with your full Momentum SRL gear, you can totally do that. Also, Ghost and Deviled Ghost, if you got these items from the Festival of the Lost, you can now repurchase these items with random stats and perks. So if you were looking to get that perfect ghost roll with your Ghost or Deviled Ghost, you can now do that. There's also 2 brand new emotes that are completely free that you can withdraw from the emote collection, and that is Proposal and Whoa There. Now, moving on to vendors, which is actually pretty big. There's a lot of stuff going on here, which is really good. Starting with Xur, he will once again sell exotic shards. I have no exotic shards because I keep buying glass needles, and yeah, this is really good. Xur is no longer going to sell exotic weapon ornaments. We'll talk about where you can get those weapon ornaments in a little bit. And Xur now sells a largest stack of 10 heavy ammo synthesis, so you don't have to hold down your button for as long. Eververse has received a new stock of items. Treasures of the Dawning are now available and contain new sparrows, ornaments, horns, armor, and consumables. Players can receive 1 free Treasures of the Dawning each week by completing their first weekly heroic strike. Completing a Dawning set from Treasures of the Dawning on 1 class will grant the EV53 Glimmer Gold Sparrow and the Sunglow shader. So that is the new armor that we've been seeing everywhere. If you complete that armor on 1 character, you will get the Sparrow and also the shader. There are 9 new winter emotes available for sale this winter season, which I will of course show you in a different video, and Rise of Iron's fall emotes have been added to the direct purchase emote rotation on Eververse. Now, the Silver Dust store, there's going to be a brand new store added to the tower. This collection sells a selection of past season items for direct purchase for Silver Dust, including exotic weapon ornaments. The Silver Dust cost to apply exotic weapon ornaments has been removed, and Silver Dust has been removed from Radiant Treasures, but still may be obtained by dismantling exotic weapon ornaments. So essentially, you will have to pay a little bit of money to get some exotic weapon ornaments. You can dismantle them and then go to the store and purchase the ornament that you want. This is a huge improvement from just purely relying on RNG. Now, moving on to the economy, which is another huge thing. The free weekly Radiant Treasure has been moved to the first weekly PvP match completion, so if you want your free Radiant Treasure, you will have to go to PvP now. Characters who are level 40 will automatically convert green engrams to weapon and armor materials on pickup. No more having to manually delete it yourself and clogging up your inventory. New bounties are available from Petra to assist players in gaining Queen's Wrath reputation. Class items obtained from Queen's Wrath packages now correctly display their stats. Fixed an issue where Year 3 faction class items were not properly contributing to faction-specific quests. I actually have a faction quest for the Future War Cult Cape, and I can't do it because my class item doesn't count towards it, so this is really good. Players can now purchase Wormspore from the Vanguard Quartermaster. Everybody rejoice! I know that it's a first world problem where it's like, I'm too lazy to go and, go and farm for Wormspore, but seriously, I'm too lazy to go farm for Wormspore. I have so much armor that I haven't been able to use because it requires Wormspore. Now I can just go and purchase frickin' Wormspore. That is great. Brother Vance now offers materials exchange for passage coins and motes of light. I deleted my passage coins, my stack of passage coins twice, thinking that they were emotes and I was infusing something. So I've been super passage coin poor, so this is a great change as well. Skeleton keys have been adjusted. Skeleton key drop rates have been slightly increased in the Siva Crisis playlist, Siva Crisis Heroic playlist, and the weekly Nightfall, and players can now receive a skeleton key for their first Nightfall clear per week. Now this is one per account. You can only get one a week, but that's way better than getting none per week. Subclass quest class items can now be repurchased from the speaker once earned. So if you got that Nightfall Night Stalker cape, it's not a Nightfall cape, it's a Night Stalker cape, and you deleted it because you have no vault space, you can now get it again. Also, legendary weapons obtained from the Gunsmith's rank 2 quest can now be repurchased from the Gunsmith. I got rid of my Stillpiercer because I had no vault space. So now I can get it back. I never really got to use it, so I'm excited about that. Now moving on to some Crucible updates, they added an ability to wave off heavy if everyone in the match does the wave emote in the first 30 seconds of a round. So there's no more, oh yeah, I'm not gonna pick up heavy. Just kidding, I'm gonna pick up heavy and I hate you guys. There's no more of that. Stop that. It's rude. You can't do it anymore. So this is a really good change. Now you can load into a trials match, you can wave, and then if they wave, you won't have a heavy. So that's really good. I love that change. Fixed an issue where the end of round countdown could play twice if the round tied in elimination. Inferno Rift and Inferno Zone Control modes added to private matches. Supremacy score to win is now 120. Rumble Supremacy score to win is now 40. Supremacy Mercy spread is now 2060, down from 3090. It was actually really hard to mercy people in Supremacy even if they were getting stomped, so this is a really good change, and a slight reduction of super energy gain in Supremacy modes. Now for the bounties, they did a bunch of changes to Iron Banner bounties, basically making it harder for you to complete them because they were bugged, so they are now fixed. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but now they just work as intended, basically. Lord Shaxx is no longer going to require players to complete the Mountaintop before offering his weekly Crucible bounties. Now when the Mountaintop quest first came into Destiny, it was incredibly hard. It was a grind because it included a lot of do this while winning. So you had to win matches, you didn't just have to play, you had to win. So it was definitely really difficult when it first came out, but I didn't hate it because I was one of the first players to complete that and get the weekly Crucible bounty because I was a Crucible player and that's what I really wanted to do. So I personally thought that it was great that PvP got this really intense quest line, but I totally get that now we don't need to have that for people to do. It's not necessary. So if you have not completed that and you haven't been able to do weekly Crucible bounties, and now you can. Now on to rewards in the Crucible. They have increased the drop rate for Trials of Osiris vanity items. They've also fixed an issue where the Trials of Osiris shader, the Devoted, was not obtainable. Yeah, you guys may not have known that there was a new shader added to the Trials of Osiris drop shader thingy when Rise of Iron came out. Well, there was, and it was just not dropping, so now you can go ahead and earn that, which is great. They increased the drop rate for Iron Banner vanity items and artifacts. Completing a daily featured Crucible activity now rewards 3 passage coins, up from 1, and completing a weekly featured Crucible activity now awards 3 passage coins, up to 3 times per week. Bungie, I needed this before now. I can purchase passage coins now. I needed this before, but it's fine. I will let that slide. Added vanity items and ghost shells to Crucible post-game Crucible reward drops. So we have Ghost, the Crimson Shell, and Sugary Shell. This is from the Crimson Days event. We have the Crimson Crest from the Crimson Days event. And we have Rosebright and Valentine shaders. So if you were not around for the Crimson Days event, you can now have the ability to get those ghost shells and those shaders and the emblem in just regular Crucible. This kind of leans towards, I think it hints towards not having a Crimson Days event in February, because I feel like they would have just kept the old stuff for Crimson Days again and be like, yeah, no, you can get the old stuff and the new stuff. Maybe I'm wrong, but for me it kind of feels like Crimson Days isn't going to happen. Maybe it's going to be something totally different. They've also added select Year 2 Crucible legendary weapons back to core post-game match rewards. We have Red Spectre, NL Shadow, the Ash Factory, AS Luna, and Party Crasher. So if you have been grinding for your God roll AS Luna, you no longer have to worry about going into the classic playlist. You can just play the regular one, which is great because Classic Playlist had crazy wait queues, like crazy, crazy, crazy. So I think that is pretty much it. There's a lot of quality of life improvements in here, although there is no weapon balance patch, which makes me really sad because I think we need it. I think we need it really, 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 really badly. But there's a lot of stuff in here that is great. And it's stuff that we needed, and it's stuff that's going to make playing the game a lot easier and less frustrating. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. I'm going to be uploading a ton of the Dawning stuff, so stay tuned to the channel. Also going to be streaming later some Sparrow Racing and probably some Nightfall, so if you want to come hang out, you can go and do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.